Welcome, guys. We are remaining with one topic in our fourth chapter, that is the resolution in propositional logic. I had already uploaded the video of resolution in predicate logic. Actually, this resolution in propositional logic is the previous part than the predicate logic, but it was remaining mistakenly, so I am taking this now. So in the resolution, whatever it may be, the resolution, what we do, we will take the goal and try to resolve it by negating it. Means in the resolution we select two parent clauses and compare them, that is resolve them, which results in new clause. This procedure get repeated until we get null clause or no progress is happening onward. Okay, this is how our resolution is proceed. See, here are some steps for resolution in propositional logic. In that, first what we have to do, we have to take all the axioms and or propositions and convert them into clausal form. The clausal form, which I had already uploaded the video how to convert the sentences into clausal form. So I had already taken the how axioms in propositional logic, how axioms are written. Okay, so the first step is to convert all the propositions or axioms to the clausal form. Now the second step is to negate the goal clause to be proved. Okay, then the third step is to select the clause which include the contradiction of negation of goal clause. The fourth one, compare the two clauses in step 3 and 4. Compare the two clauses which we got in step 3 and resolve them. Now after resolution of fourth step, we get one resultant clause. Okay, again after getting that resultant clause, we have to repeat the step 3, 4 and 5. Okay, now until what we have to do this repetition until we get null clause or some position from where we cannot move forward. Okay, until then we have to do. If we got null clause, then we had successfully proved the goal, and if we stop in the middle due to some condition, then we can say that the goal has not been proved. So moving forward, we'll see all this step just by taking one simple example. See, the example is we are given with some axioms, that is first one is P, second is P and Q implies to R, then third clause is S or T implies to Q, and the fourth clause is T. And what we have to prove, we have to prove R. Now to prove the R, we have to start from the end, that is we just take the goal and negate the goal and then start to resolve it. See, now the step 1. What is the step 1? We have to convert all the axioms to the clausal form. How they get converted? I had already uploaded the video of conversion. So the P, which was the first, it will be written as it is because it is a single, that's why it will get easily converted into the clausal form. The second step, what was there in second? P and Q implies to R. This will get converted to the negation of P or negation of Q or R. Okay, this is how the second axiom gets converted into the clausal form. The third axiom what we have, S or T implies to Q. So we can divide these two in this single clause into two, that is negation of S or Q and the negation of T or Q. And the fourth, as it was simple T, it will be remain T after converting into the clausal form. Okay, see the next step what we have to do. See, we have to prove R. Therefore, to start the resolution, take the negation of clause to be proved, that is negation of R, and now we try to resolve this clause, that is negation of R. See, here we had done the two steps, first two steps, that is conversion of all the axioms to the clausal form, and the second one is the negation of goal clause. Now for step 3, 4, 5 and 6 we'll see the example. Now see, here we have to prove R. Okay, here we have taken negation of R and selected one clause which consists of complement of negation of R, that is the clause number 2, which consists of negation of P or negation of Q or R. Now from here this R and this negation of R get cancelled or resolved, and we get the new child clause. Here the clause number 2, that is negation of P or negation of Q or R, and this negation of R are the two parent clauses, and after resolving these two parent clauses we get this child clause. Okay, now to resolve this new child clause, we will see that whether we have any clause which can resolve this. So first we'll check for P, then we'll check for Q. Okay, here in this clause we are having negation of P, so we'll try to search the contradiction or the complement of this negation of P, that is we'll search for simple P, whether it is available in our knowledge base or not. Okay, and we are having our first clause, that is simple P, so it is allowed, that's why we have taken this P to resolve this new child clause. Okay, now again from this two, here after resolving this and this we get only Q as a resultant clause. Okay, after getting this negation of Q as a resultant clause, now again we try to resolve this, that is the negation of Q. Okay, so resolving this, again we try to search the clause which consists of complement of Q, that is positive Q, and we are having the clause available in our third clause, that is negation of T or Q. Okay, so why we had taken this? Because we are already available with the positive T which we will need after resolving these two. You can try for both, because first if you try the negation of S or Q, this will not give this will give just a negation of S. Okay, so secondly, we had taken that is negation of T or Q. Okay, to resolve the negation of Q clause. Okay, after resolving this, we will get the negation of T. Okay, now we try to find the positive T to solve this negative T or negation of T, so that we get again, so that it gets resolved. As in our knowledge base, the fourth axiom is having just T, that is positive T. After resolving this negative and positive T, again we get null. This is how we had proved the R. Okay, we got our R is proved. Okay, this is how your propositional logic works. Hope you got this, and if you practice this, you will get familiar with this one. Okay, thank you.